The year, 1885. The Civil War was 20 years past. It was a time of innocence. It was a time of confidence. The country was poised for a period of very rapid change. Electric power, the telephone, Ellis Island, a machine would fly. 1885 is also special for us here at Axley Brynelson and for the city of Madison. A young lawyer, Burr Jones, returns from Congress. He joins Francis Lamb and Jones, attorneys and counselors at law. And it is here in 1885 that the Axley Brynelson legacy begins. Time will prove young Jones to be an extraordinary man. From a family farm to the Evansville Seminary to the University of Wisconsin Law School, his career will include the district attorney's position, city attorney for Madison, president of the State Bar of Wisconsin. Jones, in fact, will leave an indelible mark on the history of Wisconsin law. Historians have called Burr Jones exceptional, one of Wisconsin's greatest trial lawyers. In private practice, Jones found time to teach law for 30 years. He wrote the definitive book on the rules of evidence. But Jones' success was not his alone. History shows that Jones followed a guiding principle: assemble a team, recruit the best law graduates, the best lawyers, to serve the client. In 1885, as the new courthouse opened, Jones recruited Ray Stevens. Stevens would go on to be a Republican legislator and an architect of the Wisconsin primary system. He was president of the State Historical Society. Shortly thereafter, Jones recruited E.J.B. Schubring. Schubring was the star of his law school class. This early team of Jones lawyers made quite a record. In 1898, they incorporated Madison General Hospital, now Meritor Hospital. They continued to serve the University of Wisconsin through teaching. They designed the modern Wisconsin tax system. And ultimately, 4 members of the Jones lawyers would serve on the Wisconsin Supreme Court, including Justice Stevens, who would author 237 separate opinions. Schubring's particular skills marked the beginning of our public utility practice. Schubring organized the formation of the Wisconsin Power and Light Company. He was instrumental in the Wisconsin River Kilbourne Dam projects. The dam projects on the river not only electrified our cities, but also spurred the rapid growth of tourism at the Wisconsin Dells, Lake Delton area. Ultimately, Schubring was named to a panel of blue ribbon experts to design flood control for the Cuyahoga River. The photo you see here shows Schubring along with Orville Wright and other members of the panel. Near home, Madison trolleys had switched from mules to electric power. The city of Madison sued our client, Southern Wisconsin Railway. The dispute? Who should pay the cost of paving the section of road between the rails? The case proceeded all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and in a decision by Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jones prevailed on behalf of the client. The city of Madison lost. However, Jones was impressed with the work by the city attorney, his opponent, Bill Ryan. Jones then recruited Ryan to the team, and in 1923, Bill Ryan joined the firm. Ryan would be instrumental in creating the Madison Metropolitan Sewage District, and Ryan would be responsible for the early development of our practice representing sanitary districts, as well as our expertise in municipal law. At the same time, Jones recruited Arnold Peterson. Mr. Peterson would form First Federal Savings and Loan, and Peterson would add to the firm's reputation in banking, tax, and probate matters. The name Axley first appears on the letterhead in the year 1928. Mr. Axley was a man of exceptional intellect. His particular expertise included intellectual property law and labor law. Mr. Axley would go on to represent the French Battery Company for many years, as well as its successor, Rayovac. In fact, Mr. Axley patented the first leak-proof, sealed-in-steel battery for Rayovac. In 1939, our Mr. Brynelson joined the firm. Following Pearl Harbor, Mr. Brynelson enlisted in the Navy. The military initially put him to use in weather forecasting, but he left the Navy as a lieutenant commander from the Office of General Counsel. He returned to our firm, and during his career, Mr. Brynelson developed the likely distinction of representing more independent telephone companies than any other lawyer in Wisconsin. During his career, he acted as counsel for Commonwealth Telephone, then as general counsel and a member of the board of directors of General Telephone, GTE. He defended Mid-Plains Telephone against a hostile takeover by Pacific Telephone and later served as president of Mid-Plains. He was named to the Hall of Fame of the Wisconsin Telecommunications Association and is a man we hold dear as a reminder of true professionalism and as a wonderful human being. The 3 decades following World War II marked another era of rapid change. The GI Bill, the baby boom, housing shortages. The legal environment changed rapidly as well. Government spending and government regulation sparked a new era of residential development, commercial development, highway construction, and national events brought the changes to Wisconsin. Federal legislation prohibited discrimination, and in 1975, Governor Lucy signed Wisconsin civil rights legislation into law. This was also an era of rapid growth at Axley Brynelson. True to the Burr Jones tradition of recruiting the best, a series of young bucks appeared on the scene, with names like Bucata, Dorschel, Armstrong, Schmid, Fenner, Mitby, Hardy, Walsh, and Peter Weisenberger. Axley Brynelson has always been known as a business and trial law firm, and the 1970s, 80s, and 90s sparked another period of growth and rapid change. The Wisconsin legislature twice reorganized the court system. At the federal and state level, regulations changed. Shifting majorities in the legislature and in the executive branch resulted in a series of regulations, both nationally and locally. This led to the expansion of our labor law practice and our employment law practice under the leadership of Mike Westcott, along with Troy Thompson. It also expanded our practice in the area of medical malpractice and health care defense under the leadership of Guy DeBow. At the same time, our insurance clients were facing an increasingly complex array of claims. Our then younger defense litigators rose to the challenge. Lubinsky, Kurtz, Anderson, Paul Curtis. Backed by a depth of quality associates, and combined with the generations before them, Axley Brynelson can claim to have conducted jury trials and major hearings in every courthouse in the state of Wisconsin. We've argued 145 cases to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. We've litigated 190 cases in the Wisconsin Court of Appeals. And combined, we have a total of 250 cases in the U.S. District Courts, the U.S. Courts of Appeals, and the U.S. Supreme Court. Likewise, Axley's business, tax, real estate, and estate planning practices expanded. Serving the client's needs were Patty Jabot in bankruptcy, Steve Brzezinski in tax, estate planning, probate, Mike Anderson, Greg Collins in business and corporate matters and litigation, Judd Genda, utility and telecommunications, as well as litigation, and Steve Streck in public utility and commercial litigation. In 1989, we moved from the old Wisconsin Power and Light building to our present location in Manchester Place. During this era, our federal court practice expanded substantially. Mike Model was elected president of the Western District Bar Association. Andrew Klarkowski joined and backed him up. The firm itself is well steeped in federal court practice. Also in 1989, our firm was joined by the firm of Easton and Harms. That brought the talents of Bruce Harms, David Easton, Larry Libman, and Rick Petershak to Axley Brynelson. This added to depth in our business, corporate, banking, and litigation areas. More recently, Mike Riley joined the firm, bringing in his skills in personal injury and mediation practice and general civil litigation matters. Brian Mullins and Carl Cinderbrand, and recently Buck Sweeney joined us, along with our Robert Proctor, adding to our depth in construction law, land use, environmental, contract bidding, and civil litigation. Shortly thereafter, Axley Brynelson created a government relations team, headed by Stan Davis and joining recently Pat Farley in government procurement. Now, in 2010, our firm unanimously elected John Mitby as our managing partner. Axley Brynelson, 125 years strong. With our partners, associates, and a very valuable team of support staff, we remain committed to serving clients the same way today as Burr Jones would have it. Assemble the best team to serve the client's needs. And that is the legacy of Axley Brynelson.